The sun was dipping low over the sprawling Montana plains, painting the sky in hues of orange and crimson, when Colt McAllister rode into the quiet little town of Red Willow, a rugged rancher with a weathered hat and eyes like storm clouds. He was known for his quick wit, fast draw, and a laugh that could rattle the boards off a saloon. Yet beneath the rough exterior, there was a loneliness that not even the vast open range could chase away. That afternoon, the townsfolk whispered of a new arrival, the Apache girl who had come to stay with her aunt after her family's lands were lost to the government. Her name was Nayeli, a young woman whose striking dark eyes seemed to hold the secrets of the desert itself. She moved with the grace of the wind, quiet yet deliberate, and her presence seemed to command respect even from the most hardened cowboys. Colt first saw her in the town square, helping an elderly merchant unload sacks of flour. He tipped his hat, offering a grin, and in a rare moment of unfiltered bravado, he called out, "Marry me on our first date, and I'll make sure you never want for a thing." The town froze, the words hanging in the air like the crack of a whip. A few snickers broke the tension, but Nayeli's dark eyes locked on his, sharp and unyielding, and with a faint smirk she replied, "I'll hold you to it." Colt felt a jolt, a spark he had long denied flickering in his chest. The challenge, the audacity, thrilled him, and yet there was something deeper in her gaze, an unspoken courage, a pride that neither mocked nor feared him. Their first dinner together was arranged at the small tavern on Main Street, a humble place with wooden tables scarred by years of spilled whiskey and laughter. Colt arrived first, ordering a steak and a whiskey neat, while his mind spun with schemes to impress her without seeming desperate. When Nayeli entered, her presence was magnetic. The chatter of the tavern seemed to fade, leaving only the rhythm of her steps and the steady thrum of Colt's pulse. She greeted him with a nod and a soft smile, and the world seemed to shrink around them. Conversation began cautiously, stories traded like delicate currency. Colt spoke of the ranch, of the cattle drives and long nights under endless skies. Nayeli shared tales of her people, of traditions and hardships, painting images of desert landscapes, campfires and the songs of her ancestors. Each word she spoke drew him in, revealing not just her history, but a resilience he admired deeply. As the night wore on, laughter softened the tension, and the playful teasing, Colt's jokes and Nayeli's quick retorts, formed a fragile bridge between two worlds. Outside, the stars blinked down, indifferent witnesses to the budding connection, and Colt felt a daring surge of hope. After dinner, they walked the dusty streets, the cool night air carrying the scent of sage and distant pine. Colt's hand brushed hers briefly, a spark of electricity shooting up his arm. Nayeli didn't pull away. Instead, she let the moment linger, testing boundaries yet trusting instinct. They talked of dreams and fears, of lands they loved and losses endured. For Colt, it was unlike any encounter he had ever known. Her presence was both grounding and intoxicating. Somewhere along the way, Colt's humor softened, revealing vulnerability behind the bravado. "I didn't really expect you to say yes," he admitted, glancing at her under the dim lamplight. Nayeli tilted her head, dark eyes glinting with amusement and wisdom far beyond her years. "I don't make promises lightly," she replied, "but I do notice when a man dares to be honest with his heart." That confession struck him, slicing through his practiced defenses. In that instant, the gamble of his reckless joke became something more, something real, something electric. They lingered on the edge of a quiet bench, the night wrapping around them like a velvet cloak. And Colt realized he wanted more than a fleeting connection. He wanted her trust, her companionship, and perhaps, if fortune favored him, her heart. As they parted for the night, Nayeli left with a faint smile and a whisper of a challenge. "We'll see if you can live up to your words." "Rancher." Colt watched her silhouette disappear into the shadows, feeling an unfamiliar anticipation. That night, lying on the creaking porch of his small cabin, he stared at the ceiling, imagining the possibilities, the adventures, and the trials that might come. He didn't just want a wife. He wanted Nayeli, her spirit, her fire, her essence. And as sleep crept over him, He realized that the first date had only begun a story far greater than he had ever dared to imagine. Outside, the wind whispered across the plains, carrying a promise of love, of challenges, and of a bond that neither time nor circumstance could easily sever.